We have a weekly internal newsletter that comes out every Friday, and people read it and comment. We incent them to. There's a quarterly contest based on how many times you comment. Last quarter's prizes were AirPods, but that incents people to read and pay attention because we have a lot of good information in there.
What are the tools that you're using, Meg, to glue the organization together?
So we started out as a Google shop when we first started in 2017. At some point, we migrated to Microsoft. And it's so funny because part of the services we provide are change management services. So no, we use Zoom and Teams. We don't even have Slack. We use the Teams chat, but we have, I would say, like reliable and consistent communication. And we have done that since the get-go. And I think that's something that can really help to build a strong culture, regardless if you're on site together or you're spread out all over the world.
What does that look like when you say reliable and consistent communication? Because it's one of the things that I see as companies, like you just said, you're going through your next phase of growth. Companies generally are terrible at communicating when they get into that $8 to $12 million range, because I used to just be able to yell over, "Hey, Meg, go ship that widget. Everything's good on that one." Yeah. And then it's like, you can't do that anymore. And so tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, so we've never been able to do that. My entire team at Insprint Group has never all been in an office together at the same time working. I mean, we've had all hands meetings where, maybe once a quarter we get everyone together, but that's for a day, and we're honestly like, we're team building and we're learning about other things. We're not like doing the work. So we've never had the option to be like, we need 5 more widgets over here. So it's reliable, consistent communication. So what does that look like? I mean, we run a lot of our projects in an agile manner. So for project teams, we do those daily stand-ups. So they're jumping on a 9 o'clock call or a 10 o'clock call to talk for 15 minutes about what work needs to get done that day and who's doing what. That's a way to keep the team aligned. From a company-wide perspective, like I said, we have quarterly all-hands meetings. People can rely on that. And since we are spread out all over the country, we have it both virtually and we have an in-person option in Chicago where about half of our team resides for a Chicago-based company. We have a weekly internal newsletter that comes out every Friday. And, people read it and comment on it because, one, we incent them to. There's a quarterly contest based on how many times you comment, you get a single entry. So last quarter's prizes were AirPods, but that incents people to read and pay attention because we have a lot of good information in there. Our workforce is made up of about 75% contract-based workers and 25% full-time workers. And so our full-time workers are a smaller team, and every week the small team gathers together for an hour to talk and catch up. And that has a very set agenda and cadence of what we talk about. So we have multiple ways that we communicate with everybody. Our people and culture lead every month, the beginning of the month, she sends an update on all of the cool events that are happening both virtually and in person that month. So we put a lot of care into letting our team know what's going on a weekly and monthly and quarterly basis.